So the official party is going to get to their chairs.
Can I get both of you on stage real quick?
This is a bit too close. Can
Awesome. Try to stand there, facing the crowd.
up to you. Whatever you want to do it. I think your brother's going to be too deep. Come up here. Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. We will begin shortly. At At this time, we ask that you please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices during today's proceedings. We encourage friends and families at any time that you need to come up, take some pictures. This is a good moment to capture, so don't feel like you got to stay there. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Captain Derek Loftus, and I'm the recruiting officer at Air Force ROTC Detachment 595, and I would like to welcome each of you to the Spring 2023 commissioning ceremony. At this time, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the playing of ruffles and flourishes, the singing of the national anthem, and the delivery of the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'll be now giving the invocation, so if you would bow your heads in prayer with me. This will be a Christian prayer. Father, I thank you today for the ability for all of us to gather here together to celebrate a great achievement of all of our commissionees. Father, I thank you for the family and the friends that have spent countless hours pouring into their children and friends. And Father, I pray that we may heed the words that are on our bell tower that our commissionees were at just a few hours ago to commemorate the World War I fallen soldiers. Lord, it says on that bell tower, they shall beat their weapons into plowshares. Father, I pray that we as airmen and guardians in the Air and Space Force may serve to not seek war, but to end war. Father, I pray that all of these young men and women before me may work in such a way that when they stand before you at the judgment seat of Christ, that they may know that they have done a well job. Father, I pray that we may not be like King Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, who exalted himself and thought, look at all the things that I myself have done. But God, I pray that we may see that from you are all good things. God, I pray that we may heed the words of our President Abraham Lincoln when he said, the question is not whether or not God is on our side, but the question is whether or not we are on God's side. Father, I thank you for your Son, and I thank you for this opportunity and the gift of salvation in him. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Cadet Violesi, and thank you, Cadet Seveny, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Today, we recognize 16 cadets as they prepare to become second lieutenants in the United States Air Force and United States Space Force. They have proven themselves as leaders of character, and they now have the distinct honor of being recognized in front of their family, friends, peers, and mentors who have supported them through this incredible journey. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of our official party, as well as our distinguished guests. Please hold your applause until each one has been introduced. Our guest speaker, General Victor E. Renuart, United States Air Force retired. The commander of Detachment 595, professor of aerospace studies, and presiding officer for today's event, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen P. Jordan. The Vice Chancellor Emeritus for Academic and Student Affairs, Dr. Thomas H. Stafford, Jr. We would also like to recognize our Detachment 595 cadre, as well as families and friends of our graduating cadets who are joining us today in person and via live stream. At this time, I invite forward our detachment commander, Lieutenant Colonel Jordan, for opening remarks.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Spring 2023 commissioning ceremony. Can I get a round of applause for Riley Seveny? Was that national anthem awesome or what? I know I'm embarrassing her a little bit, but I think that's half of my job here. And then I'm just also so amazed about the talent that we have within the own ranks of our own detachment. It's always so incredible when you discover the talents that your airmen have and they can share them with you. So little leadership nugget for you guys. Be out there and seek out the talent that's within your own ranks. It's incredible what's out there. So it's truly an honor to be here today. And before we begin the formalities of today's event, I just want to go over one ground rule with everyone. We're in the military. We love rules, right? So here's rule number one. This is a family-friendly event. So do not be shy about getting up, moving around to take the photos that you want to get and capture. I know we've got a very wide room here, so even the people in the far corners, when it's your commissionee's time, feel free to move around in the aisles, get up, do not feel glued to your seat. Get up and get that photo that you want. I do want to introduce Ross in the back, if you'd wave your hand, everyone. Okay, so this is one of our official photographers here today. So if you see him getting a shot, try not to get between him and what he's trying to do, but Ross does an awesome job with us always, so thank you so much for supporting our event again today. But please, Even though it's a formal event at times, do not feel shy about getting up and moving around to capture the photos. And if, like Amina or Jaron, if you guys have your eyes shut or something, we're taking a photo, we'll redo the photo. It's okay, all right? Make sure you get that photo that you want to get, all right? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. All right, so next, I want to thank Dr. Stafford. Thank you, as always, for joining us today. He's been a constant supporter and part of the NC State family for over 50 years, if you're not familiar with his background. He retired as the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at NC State, and so he was over the organization that our ROTC detachments fell under. For 50 years, he's been supporting us. So thank you. It means a lot for you to be here today, make it special for us. And General Renuart, thank you for supporting our event today and sharing your leadership lessons and your stories with us, and for showing us that there really is no limit to what our cadets can accomplish in their careers and beyond. So thank you very much for joining us today. And now today isn't about the Cadre Detachment 595, but I'd be missing a really good opportunity if I didn't take a moment to recognize the gentleman, Captain Derek Loftus, standing behind me today. He's trying to shy away, but he's like over 6 feet tall, so he can't really do it. So this is his last commissioning ceremony with us. He's been here for 2 years, and he served as our recruiting officer for the last 2 years. And so without a strong recruiting program, we don't have 16 graduates in the front row here today. So it all starts with an amazing officer like that running that aspect of our program. And I just want to brag on him for a little bit. He was recognized last year as the top performing #1 recruiting officer across the Southeast region for Air Force ROTC. So out of 38 schools, he was recognized as the best recruiting officer. So thank you, Derek. Best of luck as you move forward. So. I'd also like to give a shout out and a huge thank you to the team that makes an event like this happen today. Major Megan Capra was our cadre member, but she's about 2 weeks from having a baby son, so she's not able to join us today. But Jace, Lord, where are you at? There you go. All right, so this is the cadet that was in charge. He had a whole team of cadets helping him out, but as the leader, I want to give him a big round of applause for everything he did today to make this happen for us. So thank you. Most importantly, I really want to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to the moms, the dads, the grandparents, the aunts, uncles, the cousins. I see some junior ROTC instructors out in the audience today, and the mentors and the family and friends that really helped instill a strong sense of right and wrong, of strong character, and really help get those students to the point they're at today. I know that all starts with you and the families that are out there, so thank you for everything that y'all did to help get our commissionees ready for the day's event. And now that I've got a captive audience and a live mic, I really just want to take a couple minutes and brag on the stellar group of fine young men and women that are sitting in this front row. Y'all may have heard a little bit about what they do in our program, but I guarantee you, there's probably just sharing the tip of the iceberg of what they've done over the last few years. And I want to go over some things to help paint a picture of the talent that we have here at NC State. So first off, half of our commissioning class is going into a rated career field. So that's either a pilot, combat systems officer, remote piloted aircraft pilot, and it's a competitive career field. You got to get selected ahead of your peers to be able to go into that. So half our graduates are going into one of those highly competitive career fields. 2 of our graduates are going to go off and join the United States Space Force, right? And I know a lot of us, maybe we're not as familiar with that, or maybe the only thing you know about it is what you saw on a Netflix TV show, and you kind of chuckled at it a little bit, right? It's highly competitive to join the United States Space Force. Don't let what you see on the news or TV fool you anything about it. We only take about 120 graduates across the entire ROTC enterprise every year to join the United States Space Force. There's 145 ROTC detachments out there. So if you do the math, you're lucky to have 1 graduate go to Space Force. We've got 2 in this highly talented group of young men and women. Looking at like 80% of our graduating class got STEM degrees in engineering, mathematics, meteorology, computer science. Over half of those graduates have GPAs over 3.5. That's pretty incredible, I think. And one of the graduates, I want to say name by name, I know his classmates knew he is, got a double major in computer science and Japanese, and a 4.0, and pretty much got 100 in every fitness test that he took while he was here. I know I'm embarrassing over here, but holy cow, look at the talent that you have coming through this detachment. We've had cadets that have won awards at the national level, at the regional level, across the entire state of North Carolina, beating out other cadets for award opportunities. We've got cadets that have already done a tour at the Pentagon, makes them more qualified than I am right now. We've got cadets that served as the president of national level organizations for student professional development organizations, looking over 37 other schools and almost 500 members across that, right here in NC State, putting us on the map for national level leadership opportunities. We've got cadets that served as a first responder to emergency situations, provided first aid and care without regard to their own safety, knowing they'd probably never be publicly recognized for their efforts. I could go on for hours, but the message that I want to send is crystal clear. The young men and women sitting up here, they are 100% ready to lead. And if called upon, they're ready to fight. And because we don't build a culture of second place here, the most important thing is they're ready to win. I have full faith and confidence in your abilities to lead and perform as second lieutenants, and I am so proud of y'all. I'm a little sad today, but this class of talent is leaving our detachment, because I know my numbers might dip just a little bit when you guys leave. But I'm really happy of what the Air Force United States Space Force is gaining. So my parting message is this: lead your airmen and your guardians well. That's what we're hiring you to do, is leadership. And always remember, no matter where you go, represent NC State, United States Air Force, United States Space Force with passion, pride, and a sense of purpose. And I'm proud of y'all. Good luck in everything you do going forward. Thank you. So I'd now like to welcome Dr. Stafford, and he's going to share his story and his perspective on what makes it so special for the second lieutenant bars that we're going to pin on today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for this very exciting day of pride for these young men and women who are about to change from cadets to lieutenants. Thank you. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you to the parents and grandparents and family and friends who are here to share in this celebration. And General in New York, thank you for being with us today. We're honored to have you as a speaker for this event. Now, a relatively new tradition for Air Force ROTC students at NC State continues today. Yesterday afternoon, the cadets to be commissioned today met me at the Alumni Memorial Bell Tower. Cadet Nail unlocked the door, and he did a great job. And we entered the shrine room. The shrine room was dark, and when I turned on the lights on each side of the sacred plaque, the names of the NC State alumni who died during World War I while they were in military service came into view. Then each cadet honored the men on the plaque with a hand salute and then placed their bars, their gold bars, below the names on the plaque. We left and locked the door. And your gold bars then spent the night in the shrine room, all by themselves. The Memorial Bell Tower is the most beautiful, the most iconic, the most sacred place on our campus. It is a sacred military memorial. There's no better place anywhere on our campus for your gold bars to spend the night. This morning, we entered and removed your gold bars to prepare them for the ceremony that we're in right now. Now, last night, as darkness fell upon the tower, your bars remained illuminated by the light around the plaque. The room was quiet, but something very mysterious, very remarkable, very amazing was about to happen. As the tower clock struck midnight, your bars felt the presence of a powerful force. The spirit of the Wolfpack Warriors had entered the shrine room, and this spirit changed your bars forever. A bond, a powerful connection to all past Wolfpack Warriors was established. The military history and traditions of NC State and the core values of the U.S. Air Force, integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do, were infused into your bars. NC State's long and proud history of providing outstanding leaders for our nation's military is now a part of your bars and of you. And today, you carry on that long and proud tradition when you take the oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. The gold bars that you will soon wear may look like the bars worn by other lieutenants, but yours are different, and you know why. Congratulations to all of you. I thank you for your commitment and your service, and I wish you all the best. Wear your NC State gold bars with Wolfpack pride, and may the spirit of the Wolfpack Warriors be with you forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stafford. It is now my honor to introduce our guest speaker, General Victor E. Renuart, served 39 years in the United States Air Force, retiring in 2010 as a four-star general. He earned a bachelor's degree at Indiana University and a master's degree from Troy State University. He served as the commander of the 76th Fighter Squadron during Operations Desert Storm and Desert Shield. He supported Operation Deny Flight as Director of Plans for the NATO Combined Air Operations Center at the headquarters 5th Allied Tactical Air Group. His military awards include 7 service medals and 2 Legions of Merit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming General Victor E. Reinhardt.
Well, thanks, Colonel Jordan and Dr. Stafford, for your charge and your history. And I want to dwell on that for a second, because that's not an insignificant event that you just experienced by placing your bars in the bell tower. Think about the history that is in that act. Think about who you follow. We often say it's the long blue line, but that long blue line goes back to times when we wore tans and we wore we carried different weapons, but they all tie together to each of you here today. It's important that you understand the history and the heritage of our service and our new service, because you're going to write that history for the future going forward. In an extremely complicated world, it's not going to be easy. Now hold that thought a minute. Okay, moms and dads out there, how many of you thought you'd be here today? None of you. Okay, good. Because you're just like my mom and dad. Holy cow, my son could do that, or my daughter could do that. If you look at the curriculum that they've gone through, not just in their Air Force ROTC program, but in their academic program, these are truly exceptional young men and women. They've worked hard. Occasionally, they probably spend a little time after a basketball game partying somewhere in the community. But by and large, they've worked really, really hard to reach this goal. A goal that signifies service to the nation. That's very, very different than their peers in the university. They're making a commitment to our nation to serve in difficult times, sometimes in difficult places, certainly under extremely stressful conditions, and they believe that that's an important part of who they are. They got that from you. Each of you contributed to that, my words now, warrior spirit that is growing in each of those. You taught them discipline, you taught them honesty, you taught them honor, you taught them compassion. That's developed over the years into these young men and women that are sitting today. So really, all of you in the front row, stand up, turn around, and how about you give a big round of applause to all those folks in the back for what they've done for you. Well done. Okay. Thanks to the staff at the detachment. I know Colonel Jordan talked about that. This is, having been an AS-100 instructor, I've told some other folks at Notre Dame a million years ago, this is a challenging job, especially thanks to the NCO staff that really makes everything work. Officers are maybe pretty faces, but the NCOs really make it function. So I want to say thank you to those. Jace Lord back there, who took on the project officer duty of making this all work, really went over and above to make it all happen, and so good on him for that. Back to our new commissionees. It's a complicated world, as I said earlier. You're going to be asked to absorb data at rates really never before seen in our services. You're going to have to process that and make decisions in less time than it takes to go from military power to afterburner in an F-22 and be at Mach 2.5, which doesn't take very long. You're going to be asked to work in complicated coalition environments where you've got to balance the needs of not just other services, but other nations in ways that will challenge you in terms of your diplomacy, in terms of your global background, and figure out a way that you can convince our partners of an approach to a problem. Now, I didn't say convince them that the U.S. approach is necessarily the right approach, because you're going to have to learn to operate in an environment where every one of our coalition partners has real valid concerns and a voice in the process. You've been experienced with that somewhat during your ROTC programs. You've had to build teams, you've had to listen to others, and you've probably learned along the way that sometimes the most important suggestion comes from the back of the room, from the person you least expected to hear it from. And when you pause for a minute, you go, makes a lot of sense. And that becomes a solution for the team. So as you develop as young officers out there, make sure that you spend time listening as much as you do speaking. My dad had a favorite saying. It was, please make sure that your brain is engaged before you put your mouth in gear. Think before you answer. Be measured in how you talk and how you engage with your peers, and especially with your subordinates. We've created an Air Force that only functions if the team is excellent. No matter how good you think you may be, whether it's flying in a single-seat airplane going the speed of heat in my term, or if you're trying to manage a bunch of goofy aviators beating on your meteorology desk wanting a forecast that really makes sense for them, not what's real, you're going to have to be able to manage those things. Some of you are going to be in engineering programs where you're going to be at the leading edge of technology, not just for today, but for 25 years from now. You have to be able to think about how do we operate in a very complicated world as your colonels, not as your second lieutenants, and what can we design the right solutions for those problems. So all that's to say, you've got a huge opportunity in front of you, a little bit of extra weight in your rucksack as you start down that road, but it's an incredible opportunity. If I could change places with you today, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Because for the 39 plus years that I served in the United States Air Force, every day was an adventure. Every day was a challenge. Every day was something that I could, at the end of the day, write a note or two down, and it would be a great memory of my time and tenure. I was lucky. I had a chance to fly airplanes most of my career, but my pathway didn't go exactly as planned. I was an officer training school graduate, which is a little bit non-traditional. At that time, you picked your pilot training base based on your class standing at officer training school. I had 453 other trainees in my officer training school class. I was number 3 in the class. But because all those pilot training bases out there that weren't at the desirable locations fussed about how come we get somebody number 421 all the time, they decided that for my class, they would do a random computer order, and you picked off that. I was the last name on the list. So my view that I'm going to the best pilot training base in the whole world came shattering down as the list came out, and we found that out as literally as we're walking. You walked by like a seating chart, and they had the list 1 to 143 or 63 or whatever it was. And I kept looking, and I kept looking, and I kept looking, and I finally saw my name. The only saving grace is one of our classmates got sick and couldn't be there, and you had to be there in person to pick. So I got 2 choices. Suffice it to say, neither of them were my top. Right after pilot training, Vietnam War was winding down, and so we didn't have all those fighter aircraft that I thought for sure I was going to go fly. And so I became a flight instructor. And then I went to survival school, and on the way back, I found out the base that I was supposed to go to is closing. So now I've gone back down to the bottom of the list because, you know, you're a second lieutenant with no experience. You can be moved out anywhere. The point of all that is to say that your career path isn't going to go the way you would envision it necessarily. Your career path will take twists and turns almost at every assignment opportunity. What's important is how well you're reacting to that and how well you're doing your job in the job you have today. So whether you're going out as an engineer or a meteorology officer or an aviator or RPA pilot, whatever your career field will be, the only thing that's important is how well did I do my job today and did I meet the mission needs? If you focus on that, then all the rest of that stuff will sort itself out. And I chuckled, Colonel Jordan mentioned somebody a cadet going to the Pentagon. My first Pentagon tour was as a 3-star. So that too is not the normal way of the world. All my contemporaries would fuss at me because they'd been there 2 or 3 times. And, you know, as happenstance would have it, a previous boss or whatever said, no, you're not going there, you're going to go do this. So your career will not be what you envision it to be. But I can guarantee you it will be all that you could envision it being. And it will challenge you every day. It will give you opportunities that no one would imagine. It will certainly give you opportunities to excel, to make the rest of this audience extremely proud of what you do. The things you have to remember: listen, be humble, be confident, be well-trained, be decisive. And if you can find a way to put all of those into your paradigm of leadership, then you'll succeed. If you let one of them drop out, we have a great competitive Air Force. Somebody else is going to fill that void. And all of a sudden, you start to slip behind. So always strive to win. I like the comment from Dr. Stafford. We're about winning here at North Carolina State. I think there's a strong history of that over time. We want our Air Force and our Space Force to be the winners globally. We want our country to be the winners globally. We want our country to be the leader globally. And that's fallen on your shoulders. Old guys like me are sitting back in our lazy chairs going, sure hope they can figure this out, because it's pretty complicated. But I can see in each of your eyes an enthusiasm that makes me feel pretty proud. Now, where's Sarah? Sarah, where are you hiding back there? There she is. So this young lady, stand up. This young lady is a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, a graduate of Cary Academy here in town, and I commissioned her 2 years ago at the Air Force Academy. So it's kind of cool to see her coming today to commission her cousin. That's that weather guy I keep picking on down the aisle down here. Thanks, Sarah. So the tradition in our Air Force continues. We feed on that with each other. And you're going to come back here in a few years and maybe commission one of your friends as well, and teach them what you've learned for your first few years in the Air Force. So, my final point is this is an amazing time for our nation. Challenges and opportunities. Make the most of the opportunities, accept the challenges, and be a winner. Congratulations on your big day today, and I look forward to shaking each of your hands as we get through the course of the afternoon. Thank you.
General Renyard, our commissionees have brought a small token of their appreciation to thank you for being with them today.
Thank you so much on behalf of all the commissionees and the Anthem for 595. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Now we find ourselves at the moment you have all waited for. It is time to officially swear in our commissionees. During this portion of the ceremony, each cadet will take the oath of office, which will be administered by a commissioned officer of their choosing. Pay close attention to the words being stated in the oath, which can be found inside your program. It is fundamentally the same oath that every officer in all military branches of service have taken since our country was established over 240 years ago. All officers share a common bond. They have sworn allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the principles it espouses. The oath, along with the bond and commitment that it embodies, will forever connect these patriots, whether airmen or guardian, with American heroes past, present, and future. Upon taking the oath, the new commissionee will be awarded a certificate of commissioning by which the President of the United States appoints the officer as a second lieutenant, indicating special trust and confidence in their patriotism, valor, fidelity, and abilities. Following the oath, you will witness 2 additional brief ceremonies. First, family members of our newly commissioned lieutenant will join the new officer on stage and pin on their second lieutenant ranks. The second ceremony is the time-honored tradition of the first salute. A silver dollar is given to the first enlisted military member who salutes a newly commissioned officer. The exact origin of this custom is still debated. Research suggests that it came from the British regiments that were stationed in colonial America. An enlisted soldier was assigned to train each newly commissioned British officer and teach them the unit's history and traditions, as well as ensure their equipment was up to standards. Officers often showed their heartfelt gratitude by informally compensating the enlisted person with a small sum of money. This has been believed to have later evolved into this tradition. The practice is an expression of respect from one professional to another, a thank you for acts both done and yet to come. Our new lieutenants have selected someone for this ceremony who has helped them in a similar fashion along the way. After these ceremonies, our new officers will be presented with 2 special gifts, a flag and a coin, both of which hold special significance. During World War II, an American lieutenant was shot down behind enemy lines and fell into the hands of the French resistance. The resistance feared him to be a spy and sentenced him to execution. From his pocket, the airman revealed a bronze medallion with his squadron's flying emblem. This confirmed that he was an American pilot and saved his life. Today, after completing basic or officer training, all airmen, enlisted or officer, earn an airman's coin, marking their time, the end of their time as a trainee. General Renyard will present the commissionees with their airman's coins to be carried with them always, bearing witness to their identity as an American airman. The second gift is an American flag that was flown over the campus of NC State at the Memorial Bell Tower in honor of their transition from cadet to officer. This gift is presented by Lieutenant Colonel Jordan on behalf of all Detachment 595 cadre. Commissionees, without further ado, please come forward when your name is called. Cadet Amina, please come forward with retired Air Force Major Sherry Carr, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Bechirovich is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics. She will receive her Air Force Specialty Code and Abasement and a base assignment this fall.
I state your full name.
I, Amina Bechirovich,
Do solemnly affirm,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
and
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office of which I'm about to enter.
Second Lieutenant Bechirovich's ranks will now be pinned on by her uncle, Muharrem Bechirovich, her friend TK Rochelle, and her mother, Kata Bechirovich. Please join her on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Amina Bechirovich, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Bechirovich's first salute will be rendered by retired Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Terry Gaynor. Please join her on stage. Thank you all and congratulations, Lieutenant Bechirovich. Cadet Samuel Bazayev, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Bazayev is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics. He will commission as a combat systems officer and will be stationed at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Samuel Isaac Bazayev,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Bazayev's ranks will now be pinned on by his wife, Colleen Bazayev, his father, Robert Bazayev, and his mother, Catherine Bazayev. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Samuel I. Bazayev, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Bazayev's first salute will be rendered by his father, retired Army Staff Sergeant Robert Bazayev. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Bazayev. Cadet Antonio Capello, please come forward with retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Trinidad Capello, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Capello is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. He will commission as a pilot trainee and will be stationed at Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Antonio J. Capello,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Capello's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, Trinidad Capello, his mother, Younghee Capello, and his sister, Tina Capello, and his fiancee, Sarah Rodriguez. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Antonio J. Capello, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Capello's first salute will be rendered by retired Army Master Sergeant James Rodriguez. Please join him on stage. Thank you, and congratulations, Lieutenant Capello. Cadet Ryan David, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet David is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. He will commission as a Combat Systems Officer and will be stationed at Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Ryan J. David,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation
or
purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant David's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, Walter David, his mother, Amy David, and his girlfriend, Zara Petrosky. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Ryan J. David, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant David's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Second Lieutenant David. Cadet Carter Hawkins, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Hawkins is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering. He will commission as a remotely piloted aircraft pilot and will be stationed at Randolph Air Force Base, Texas.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Carter Reese Hawkins,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Hawkins' ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Kelly Hawkins, his sister, Kelsey Hawkins, and his father, Dean Hawkins. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Carter R. Hawkins, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Hawkins' first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Devin Gathers. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Hawkins. Cadet Dominic Iannucci, please come forward with retired U.S. Navy Lieutenant Junior Grade James Iannucci, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Iannucci is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering. He will commission as an acquisitions officer and will be stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico. Upon entering active duty, Cadet Iannucci will transition to the United States Space Force.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Dominic J. Iannucci,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of this office
discharge the duties of this office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Lieutenant Iannucci's ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Heather Iannucci, his father, James Iannucci, and his girlfriend, Mia Carlson. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Dominic J. Iannucci, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Iannucci's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all and congratulations, Lieutenant Iannucci. Cadet Daniel Jenkins, please come forward with Space Force Lieutenant Sarah Clancy, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Jenkins is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in meteorology. He will commission as a weather officer and will be stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Daniel Jenkins,
Having been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the
That I-
Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic.
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
Now bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and I will well and faithfully
Now well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office
of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Jenkins' ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Jeannie Jenkins, his father, Rick Jenkins, and his brother, Robert Jenkins. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Daniel S. Jenkins, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Jenkins' first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Jenkins. Cadet Cole Kissel, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Kissel is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering and will commission as a developmental engineer and be stationed at Edwards Air Force Base, California.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Cole James Kissel,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Kissel's ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Sharon Kissel, his father, Matt Kissel, his grandfather, George Halfer. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Cole J. Kissel, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Kissel's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Kissel. Cadet Austin Nail, please come forward with retired Air Force Major Sherry Carr, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Nail is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Management. He will commission as a pilot and will be stationed at Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Austin Kenneth Nail,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the office of which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Nail's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, David Nail, his mother, Tracy McCormick, and his sister, Kimberly Nail. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Austin K. Nail, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Nail's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Nail. Cadet John Penix, please come forward with retired Air Force Colonel Henry Gaither, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Penix is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering. He will commission as a pilot and will be stationed at Vance Air Force Base, Oklahoma.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, John Carter Penix,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, me skipping part of the script. Second Lieutenant Penix's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, John Penix, his mother, Carter Penix, and his girlfriend, Jada Burrows. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant John C. Penix, United States Air Force. Additionally, Lieutenant Penix is being recognized today as a distinguished graduate of Air Force ROTC, placing him in the top 10% of all graduates nationwide. Second Lieutenant Penix's first salute will be rendered by retired Air Force Master Sergeant Tony Carter. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Penix. Cadet Juliana Salcido, please come forward with Air Force Lieutenant Haley Jackson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Salcido is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in criminology. She will commission as a nuclear and missile operations officer and will be stationed at Vandenberg Space Force Base, California.
I state your full name.
I, Juliana Salcido,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant United States Air Force.
having been appointed the Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same,
That I will take this obligation freely
that I will take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
That I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon
of the office upon
which I'm about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Salcido's ranks will now be pinned on by their mother, Gabriela Salcido, her father, Luis Salcido, and her brother, Kevin Salcido, and her boyfriend, Hunter Emmond. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Juliana G. Salcido, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Salcido's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Staff Sergeant Gabrielle Torres. Please join her on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Second Lieutenant Salcido. Cadet Jaron Smith, please come forward with retired Air Force Major Sherry Carr, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Smith is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science and a Bachelor's degree in Japanese. He will commission as a Cyberspace Operations Officer and will be stationed at Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi.
I, Jaron Austin Smith, having been appointed Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Smith's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, Michael Smith Jr., his mother, Terry Smith, and his grandfather, Michael Smith, and his grandmother, Sally Smith. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Jaron A. Smith, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Smith's first salute will be rendered by his father, retired Air Force Senior Airman Michael Smith, Jr. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Smith. Cadet Brandon Teague, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Teague is graduating with a Bachelor's of Science degree in finance. He will commission as a contracting officer and will be stationed at Fairchild Air Force Base, Washington.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Brandon Lane Teague,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
that
I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Teague's ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Dana Teague, his sister, Brianna Teague, and his brother, Braden Teague. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Brandon L. Teague, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Teague is also being recognized as a distinguished graduate of Air Force ROTC, putting him again in the top 10% of all graduates nationwide. Second Lieutenant Teague's first salute will be rendered by Army Sergeant Austin Gunter. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Teague. Cadet Hunter Valentine, please come forward with retired Air Force Major Sherry Carr, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Valentine is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in aerospace engineering. He will commission as a pilot and will be stationed at Laughlin Air Force Base, Texas.
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
In the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the
United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same.
that I will take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congrats.
Second Lieutenant Valentine's ranks will now be pinned on by his wife, Kelly Valentine, his father, Stan Valentine, and his mother, Heidi Valentine. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Hunter C. Valentine, United States Air Force. Lieutenant Valentine's first salute will be rendered by his grandfather, retired Navy Petty Officer, 3rd Class, Jonathan Gendrick. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Second Lieutenant Valentine. Cadet Nicholas Violesi, please come forward with Air Force Captain Madeline Johnson, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Violesi is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering. He will commission as a Space Operations Officer and will be stationed at Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. Upon entering active duty, Cadet Violesi will transition to the United States Space Force.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Nicholas Anthony Violesi,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I bear true faith
that I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Second Lieutenant Violesi's ranks will now be pinned on by his mother, Lisa Violesi, his father, Frank Violesi, and his brother, Tyler Violesi. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Nicholas A. Violesi, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Violesi's first salute will be rendered by Air Force Technical Sergeant Andrew Kamak. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Lieutenant Violesi. Cadet Ryan Wagner, please come forward with retired Air Force Major Sherry Carr, who will administer the oath of office. Cadet Wagner is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering. He will commission as a Combat Systems Officer and will be stationed at Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida.
I, Ryan Andrew Wagner,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant
having been appointed a second lieutenant
in the United States Air Force,
in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
that
that I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and I bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Second Lieutenant Wagner's ranks will now be pinned on by his father, Kevin Wagner, his mother, Arlene Wagner, and his grandmother, Carolyn Wagner. Please join him on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Second Lieutenant Ryan A. Wagner, United States Air Force. Second Lieutenant Wagner's first salute will be rendered by retired Army Sergeant Bill Wagner. Please join him on stage. Thank you all, and congratulations, Second Lieutenant Wagner. At this time, I would like to invite all of our new second lieutenants to come forward. The second lieutenants standing before you, now officers in the world's greatest Air Force, epitomize our core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Though their absence will be felt, they have set an example of dedicated and selfless leadership for the cadets of Detachment 595 to follow. The Department of the Air Force and the United States have gained 16 great officers. On behalf of the staff, cadre, and cadets of Air Force ROTC Detachment 595, we wish each of you the best. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude our spring 2023 Air Force ROTC commissioning ceremony, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Cadet Herring, Cadet Davis, and Cadet Lord, who worked hard to make this significant event a success. Great job, and thank you. Thank you to our guests for attending this commissioning ceremony to recognize this momentous occasion. At the conclusion of the ceremony, family and friends are welcome to come forward and take additional photos. But before we conclude, our new lieutenants will break it down for us one last time, then lead us in the singing of the Air Force song, the words to the first verse of which can be found in the back cover of your program. Please stand for the singing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party following today's ceremony. Please join us for a reception in this room. I'm sure everyone saw the cookies in the back. New second lieutenants, make sure you see Technical Sergeant Kamak afterwards to get your paperwork signed.
Stand by. Full pack. Warriors! Song one. Peace together.
Hallelujah.
This officially concludes the Spring 2023 commissioning ceremony. Congratulations once again to our new second lieutenants. Please stay in place for a photo opportunity.